Excellent. Yeah. So then that leads on to my first question, which is, what do you feel are the top three resistance to change by HR and business teams? And the second part to that question is, are they common or are they completely different things?
I think they're common. Interestingly, I had a conversation with a potential client in Stockholm yesterday. They're on the business side. And my usual spiel resonated exactly with their problem set. 45-year-old organization that is currently going backwards on performance. So, when I mention these sorts of three things, business and HR are and do continue to have a bit of a blind spot around this. So what is it? I've mentioned already, I think there is an addiction to this 20th century construct, this command and control piece that has us in change, intervening into what is a world of intelligent people who can make choices, who've got a brain in their head, who make intelligent responses to some of the things that we do when we intervene. And we have to recognize that this idea that we set up change in the way that we do, like a journey, like a start, an end and a middle, and we take people and then we label those that don't get taken along with us as individuals who are resistant to change. I mean, resistance to change does not exist. If it did, we'd all still be in the caves eating animals. The idea that we have people in our workplaces who have chosen to live a life and, go on mortgages and change careers and do all of these things tells us they're not resistant to change. What they are resistant to is the utter stupidity of the change that's put in front of them. They're rational. They have a feeling around what it means for them. So am I going to lose more money? Am I going to lose status? Do I have enough capability to do this new thing that's being asked? And we don't spend enough time recognizing that resistance to change itself is about the methodology. So I think there's, I think a huge part of this is about how do we look at people and how do we give them more respect than we do. And HR people get very annoyed with me when I say that, because we tend to treat people a bit stupidly. And we tend to feel, and this leads to the second point, Bhumi, which is at its heart is our own insecurity as a HR tribe about what does this mean for us?
Right.
So as the world has changed, our role has been, evolving as the side of the business that intervenes in the people problems, that helps the business change, that goes through transformation. But if in fact you've got intelligent people who are really looking for a framework to operate within, guidance to solve problems, and intelligence to understand their market, the bottom line is for HR professionals is, what does it mean for us? Does the world still require us in our old constructs of HR, learning, development, and all that other stuff that we have been born and bred into? So we're very good at blaming the business when we look into them about the resistance to change piece. But a huge part of it is that we can't come to terms with the fact that we are, in the way we're constructed, part of that 20th century. So our own insecurity is a big part of it. And how do we reinvent it? Why can't we give those inside the business that we've demarcated as, managers who can't recruit and all this other stuff, why don't we give them the tools to do this? This is not miraculous, so there is a lot of fear that sort of goes with it. And then I think the third thing that straddles both of us, but of course has put HR on the hook, of course, is that we are still in a world of short-termism. We still want a business who wants instant gratification or an instant solution to a problem. And if I think of some of the tech adoptions, I've seen the incredibly sad faces on buyers who have bought some artificial intelligent piece of whiz on predictive hiring that suddenly isn't providing them with, A-class rock stars in the following week. And you remind them that it's being trained and it's learned and it's taking on our biases and it just happens to be a new member of the team that doesn't get tired or doesn't demand drinks on a Friday evening with everybody else. But it still needs to learn the business. And across the piece, if you take the HR insecurity, the clumsy transformation initiatives, the likelihood of resistance amongst intelligent people, it means that we fail a hell of a lot. And that is ultimately then spirals into our own growing lack of self-confidence about who we are and what we contribute, and the position that we stay. And so, my plea in the blog and my plea in the HR people out there is, let's question, let's analyze. The world's changed. Why should we be shielded from that?
Absolutely. It also reminds me of one of the other blogs that I'd written, which was all about the patience that we give humans when we onboard a new human being as a temp or even a permanent graduate or new member of staff. We have enough patience with them. We give them 3 months, 6 months probation periods. But with the tech, we don't seem to have that sort of patience. We expect results almost instantly. And I've personally, as a startup founder, seen that although the solution is a no-brainer and not that it just does the transactional, we've got this huge community piece to it, it still is something that just, there's something about the word change that we're going to have to change to, change it for the better as well. It's just, something's unsettling. So I think I completely agree with your points of, having that fear inside